Hi, I'm Katie Willings and I'm riding Race the Wild Coast, a 350km multi-horse race around the wild coast of South Africa, which launches next week. I am blogging this episode for Horse and Hound, and I thought I would take you through some of the salient features of my race outfit. So I'll go from top to bottom. If you're racing in the future, hopefully you'll find some useful advice in here, or if you want to follow me on the race, you can see how it all performs underwater, on sand, and mainly on horseback. So from the top, helmet, that is just togs. It is lightweight, easy to wear all day, does the job. Gloves, I've gone for leather bionic ones. And we've actually been advised against using too much leather because we have to do a lot of river swims on this race, and leather has a tendency to become slippery. So my strategy is going to be just to take them off. They're going to go into a little dry sack and get tucked into this race pack, which I'll take you through in the next video, what's inside here. So I'll do the swims barehanded and get these back on just as soon as I can. But I find them acceptably quick drying, really robust. There's lots of creepers, thorny bits, bushwhacking to do, and obviously handling quite strong, quite tough horses. So for me, more robust is more to the point. That's my gloves. Moving down, on my top half I've got 2 layers on here. We can actually carry a rain jacket as well, which I'll show you in a separate photo. I've got an Under Armour layer on, courtesy of my good friend Sean Dyson. This has got some compression in it, and then the other clever technical feature is that once you sweat into it, it cools your body. Sorry, there's just a dog interrupting. Truffle, bugger off. It's light compression as well, which just helps support your muscles and with venous return, so that when you're working hard all day, the shirt takes some of the strain for you, apparently. Over that I have got a Icebreaker Merino 150 layer. So this is their lightest weight, lightest grade of merino, which is kind of warm when it's cold and cool when it's warm. So it's a really versatile piece. The other great thing about merino is that it doesn't smell. You can wear it day after day, and yeah, it's livable with even in really extreme conditions, which is good. Then I've got a buff around my neck, so it's going to be really important to keep the sun off. It's going to be strong out there, and it's a really easy bit to get overexposed and sunburned, and that would be a race ender for somebody as pale and ginger as me, and nobody wants to get turkey neck as well. I've gone for my Ducati Scrambler one in homage to my motorcycle, who's sadly staying here for this trip. Moving down, I've got a race pack by a company called Nathan. Now this is a pack that I found when I was researching good equipment for the Mongol Derby, and I got this sent out to all of the riders in 2013 and 2014, and one of the 2013 riders, Shelley Bates, who's a good friend of mine, has kindly lent me her race pack from the 2013 race. So the salient features of this, there's a 2-litre bladder pack in the back here, so I've got my hydration on me all the time, and a really simple bladder system with a little teat on the end, so my water's with me continuously. It's really easy to get to. The pockets are really well structured and designed, and for a woman, this cross-fronted design with the cross belts means it doesn't bounce, so I can really run, jump around, bounce around in the saddle. Not that I ever bounce, obviously. And it doesn't rotate. What you find with your ordinary race vests or the backpacks that go just straight over your shoulders is that they have to go somewhere around your guns, which can be really uncomfortable. So I find a pack like this doesn't rub, doesn't move, and the fact that it cuts close to the neck and down the centre of my body keeps the whole thing quite nice and still. So I think this is a really good design. It's got 2 cross belts here which attach, and then it's got various elasticated pockets. So in here I've just got a small rag, which can be snot wipe, glasses wipe, arse wipe, wound wipe, whatever you need really. Obviously after a river swim, just to try and get the worst of the water off the tack and off the horse, off my equipment, will be really important. I've attached 2 other small dry sacks for instant access just around my waist. I'm not sure how that's going to ride, but in this one I've got medical, and in this one I've got sports nutrition, batteries, head torch. Currently, we're at like 5 kilos for the race. I am on about 5.8, so I've got to lose 800 grams from my kit, which I can do if I don't take a single piece of sports nutrition. So I might have to man up and do exactly that. I've then got a tactical military grade webbing belt around my waist, which currently doesn't hold my trousers up, it just holds my knife. So in here I've got a very good multi-tool, which includes a pair of needle nose pliers. So we've been advised that if a horse was to lose a front shoe, you'd want to take the partner shoe off. So yeah, I've got a heavy enough knife to hopefully knock up all the other clenches, get the other nails out, and a pair of pliers to finish the job. I've never actually put on or removed a horseshoe, but I've never done the race of the Wild Coast either, so there's a first time for everything. So I'll take you through what else is in the backpack in a separate video. Just to move down the body, these riding tights are by Hawker, and the salient points of these are how fast drying they are. They offer a bit of compression and muscle support, so the same idea as the Under Armour layer. It's just going to keep the blood from sinking into your ankles and never coming back up again. It's got some quite good pockets down the thighs, so yeah, I don't actually have a knobble here, that's a chapstick, which is a very important part of my equipment. And then moving down towards the feet, this is the hardest part to get right for somebody taking on this event. We've been told to wear lightweight trekking shoes and little socks that come up to the knee, and as you can see I've roundly ignored that advice, but I'll tell you as to why. When I'm riding my motorcycle, the foot pegs dig into my calves when I'm stood on the bike, or if I'm manoeuvring it manually, and if I fall off it for any reason, I get these massive bruises on the inside of my shins. So having got back from a 12-day motorcycle tour yesterday, I've got some pretty spectacular bruises on the inside of my calves. I also know I get rubs on my legs anyway, and for me the protection offered by a pair of half chaps isn't something that I'm that happy to give up. Ditto, I only got a place on this race 3 weeks ago, so I haven't had time to source and break in, more to the point, a new pair of hiking shoes. I've got kind of puffy ankles at the best of times, and I think to have a pair of hiking boots that you can only lace up in one formation means that if I do get a rub, it's going to be the same rub that I'm stuck with all week. Whereas with these boots, firstly, they're brilliantly well broken in. I've ridden in these for years. And second of all, the fact that they're lacing up at the front here, there's a number of ways that I can lace them differently. If something starts to rub, I can do something about it straight away. Yes, they will ship quite a lot of water and they will get quite heavy, but I, as one of the riders in the race, am relatively lightweight, so me shipping on a couple of extra kilos isn't really going to be race ending for me. Me getting blisters, I mean, that wouldn't be race ending either, honestly, but I think this is what's going to suit me. Now, under the half chaps, I've got a pair of socks from a company called Danish Endurance. There's a little Danish flag on there. These are merino wool, so the same as my second layer up top, so it's got the same wicking, naturally antibacterial, shouldn't smell too bad. It's got quite good padding and arch support. And then the other thing about these is that they've been bathed in an anti-tick and anti-mosquito treatment. And we've been told that, yeah, the ticks are vicious out there. So that should offer me a bit of protection against Lyme disease, I think it is. Which, yeah, I think everyone's having a hard enough time without getting Lyme disease on the race. So, yeah, my kit is a combination of stuff I'm very comfortable riding in, stuff that's going to dry acceptably quickly, stuff that is going to be warm if the conditions are cold, and not too hot if the conditions are warm. And the dog approves. Oh, actually, there's one other thing. So under here, is the absolute starter. This is a pair of knickers called Jelly Pants. So it's a Canadian brand, and the genius thing about those is they come with a little gel pad that you velcro in to the gusset of your knickers directly. I'm going to do it. Okay. Just hold right there. And there is the gel pad. So the brilliant thing about that is you're sat on something that's fantastically comfortable. It doesn't get hot, it doesn't rub, and the knickers that they're obviously contained in are proper arse covering. They're made for horsewomen basically. They're really comfortable to ride all day and they really impress me. And I don't actually know how I managed without them. So well done, Jelly Pants. That's a really, really good design. And yeah, hopefully I'll get a free pair in the post after that. Good. That's my outfit for Race the Wild Coast. And I hope that's useful for any future competitors.